kids are really smart. Kids are very talented and they have a lot of potential. To talk a little bit about Tune Up Philly and what we're hoping to do is simply show that music can provide a very strong pro-social impact, both, again, on a social level and especially an educational level. And to simply hear where these kids come from, it's really difficult to hear a lot of these stories of broken homes because of broken marriages, kids not knowing who their father is, going home and having nothing to eat, even hearing things of kids that have witnessed other folks, being murdered, family members that they've seen been murdered, the crime that they live with. It's common to hear gunshots. It's common to hear windows being broken, cars being stolen, drugs. They see their parents do it. And in a way, it's unfair what we have to fight with hopes that music will provide them with something. If you can start young enough with a child that's really curious, they want to do everything. They want to touch everything, they want to play with it. And what happens is that if that child has too many disappointments early in life, then they simply start to give up. So that's why it's really easy for you to put a child in front of a television where there's something always moving, there's a joke every 10 seconds, and that in a way keeps them engaged. Once they start getting used to that type of engagement, then they start looking at other challenges in their life and only seeing the solution that if they can't get it immediately, then they just give up and they move on to something else because that's simply what they're used to doing. So you put them in a math class. Things get harder in the 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. And once it gets too hard, it will be so easy for them to just say, well, let me move on to something else. What music does is that we're able to put those challenges in front of these kids because they're curious anyway. They don't know yet that classical music isn't cool or that playing an instrument isn't cool. They don't know that yet. So what happens is that they start playing these instruments and they see these types of challenges, but they know that an option to give up is not there. We make sure that we set the curriculum in a way so that these kids can feel successful on a daily basis. But to watch them, first of all, pick up the instruments even in an exploratory type way was really cool. Having the opportunity to put a piece of metal to their face and to make a sound from it was really cool because it's something that they don't plug into the wall and they just push a button and it just works. But to see that they were responsible for producing that sound. The second thing was watching them now become a member of a section. So once they all chose the trumpet, to watch them kind of take this new sense of pride within themselves of saying, I'm a trumpet player, I'm part of the trumpet section. And then to watch their very first lessons on these instruments as, in a way, they realized that it was going to be a lot of work. But at the same time, they had a teacher there that was ready to walk them through this process. We weren't just going to throw them in the deep end and hope that they swim. We've seen lots of shift in their confidence and their self-esteem, and mainly with their focus. Of being able to focus for a long period of time on one instrument, on one activity, has transferred into their success in the classroom. So we hear from their teachers that their focus is much better, that grades are improving, that on a psychological level and emotional level, these kids are now realizing that they can do much more. So attitudes are shifting. We hear from their parents that they are different at home. Again, we hear from their teachers that they're different in the classroom. It just felt like that it's my responsibility as an artist to give back. Man, I'm 24 years old. And I just refused to believe that the only thing that I could do was just put a trumpet to my face and play. I needed to do more. Being able to give back to these children, because I had mentors when I was younger who stuck with me, who gave me all of their energy and time. And that's all. I mean, all of that love is what kept me on the straight and narrow. Because I'll tell you now, if I was not involved with music, I would not be here. And I would, really important aspect. Because when the performance is over and the orchestra, the kids are standing up and the parents are standing up, you have a parent sitting there thinking, wow, all of these folks in the audience are clapping for my kid. And you have the kid thinking, wow, everyone in this audience is clapping for me. And, you know, really clapping for us. And those types of connections are those that, again, change communities and change lives. And it's really beautiful that that can happen through music.